Good morning everyone! Today I'm gonna show you guys how to make kimchi찌개, which is a traditional Korean kimchi stew. It's eaten a lot. It's like a staple dish in Korea. And I'm gonna show you guys how I make kimchi찌개 at home with a little bit of a fusion twist. So what I have here is kimchi in my Le Creuset Dutch oven. You don't have to use a Dutch oven, you can just use a regular pot. I just prefer to cook it in my Dutch oven because it's red, it's happy, it makes me feel, you know, happy to be in the kitchen. It makes me want to cook, it motivates me because it's so pretty. So I just like to cook it in here. So I've got kimchi with a little bit of sesame oil and in there, and it's been 볶아ing a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead, once the kimchi gets a little bit soft, I'm gonna add onion. I'm also gonna add diced garlic. And some green onion. And once that's been cooking for a while, I'm gonna go ahead and add enough room temp water so that all the ingredients are covered. Usually I like to start or base all my stews on a stock that I make with soup stock, anchovies, and tashima. And usually I'll just put them in this metal, like giant tea ball type thing for making stock. Boil it with some water for a while until I get a nice color and nice taste out of the stock and use that instead of water. But I'm out of soup stock anchovies. I also have this on hand, which is like, I haven't used this before. It's like a instant seafood spice mix that you can use to make like a broth instantly. I haven't used it before. I'm gonna go ahead and taste how this kimchijigae turns out, and if I feel like it needs more depth, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this, but I'll hold off for now because I'm scared what will happen because I've never used it before. And at this point, if I had any kimchi juice, I would add it to the kimchijigae. Kimchi juice is exactly what it sounds like. It's just like the liquid that's in the jar of kimchi that you have. Kimchi juice is such a precious commodity, you guys, because you only get a little bit of juice in every jar of kimchi, and it will make anything you cook taste so much better. It's so wonderful. It's really like the essence or like, you know, extract of the kimchi flavor, and if you add it to your kimchi jjigae, it will taste so good. I don't have any right now, unfortunately, so I'll be adding other stuff to the kimchi jjigae as I go to try and get that taste, replicate that taste in the broth. So I'm gonna go ahead and add mushrooms, and this is totally not traditional, but I'm also gonna add zucchini. That are sliced into like medallions, just because I really love zucchini, and I try to add a lot of vegetables to anything that I cook because I try not to eat too much meat, so I stick to veggies and seafood whenever I can. I'm gonna add more water so that everything is covered again. I'm gonna put the lid on the pot and let that just cook for a while until I hear it really bubbling. And while that's cooking, I wanted to tell you guys about a little side project that I've had going on for the past few weeks. When I cook, especially Korean food, I use a lot of green onions, and I saw a really cool blog post online that was talking about regrowing green onions that you use at home. So you take, you know, the like little stems of the green onion that you've used, and you just put it in like a vase or a jar. I just use like a leftover pepper jar of water, and you put it on a windowsill where it will get sun. And then if you wait a couple weeks, it grows a new green onion. This is amazing, you guys. Like, I turned this into this. I really suck at gardening, even though I really want to be good at it. So it was just so exciting for me to grow something that didn't like shrivel up and die and kill my soul a little bit. So I'm just like really excited about this green onion that I've grown. But I also saw that if you just continue to regrow green onion in water, because there's no nutrients that it's getting other than, you know, whatever minerals are in the water, the green onion will lose flavor slowly every generation or every regeneration that you use the green onion. So I'm really wanting to plant this. I'm gonna try and sneak and like guerrilla style plant them in this like planter area that our apartment complex has, so I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. I really hope I don't plant them in soil and then they die, because that will make me really depressed. And you can do a similar thing with celery. So you take like celery that comes like in a bunch, and then you cut off the top and eat it, and then you just put it in a cup of water and put it where it can get sunlight, and then in a few weeks you'll get a new celery growing from it. And you can even see, I don't know if you guys can see this, there's a teeny tiny itty bitty bit of growth, like 1 centimeter, and it's like really soft and green. I'm so excited, you guys. And hopefully after that's sprouted to about an inch or two, I'll go ahead and plant that as well, and then I will have celery forever. Okay, so now that our stew is nice and bubbling, I'm gonna add my protein sources. So I've got canned mackerel. If you can't get access to canned mackerel, or if you're not that into mackerel, you can also use canned tuna, or you can use meat like Spam or sausage, or even like beef if you wanted to, and go ahead and add that in. And along with the mackerel, I'm gonna go ahead and add cubed tempeh pieces. If you're not familiar with tempeh, it's like a stiff, it's similar to tofu. It's made from fermented soybeans, and it has a really great nutty taste and a kind of like stiff, crunchy texture. I'm gonna go ahead and add my tempeh cubes to the stew. And this is gonna sound so crazy to people who like traditional Korean food, but I'm gonna add diced cilantro to the kimchijjigae. Cilantro definitely is not something that you would use normally in kimchijjigae, but I just really love the taste, and thankfully my husband does too. I know some people really hate cilantro, and some people have like a mutation that makes it so that cilantro tastes soapy to them. So definitely, if you don't like it, please don't add it. But if you're a fan of cilantro, go ahead and try it out. You'll be really surprised how good it tastes. It's also really good in like ramen, if you guys ever make ramen at home. Oh my god, cilantro ramen is the best. And I'm gonna cover it and let it cook for a while again. So we've let the stew cook for a little bit, and you want to go ahead and taste the broth and see if it's to your liking. And if it's missing something to you, here are some of the things that you can use to add more oomph to your broth. You can use soy sauce if you feel like it needs more like that salty, like umami taste. You can also use 새우젓, which is a salted shrimp sauce. You can add red pepper flakes, or you can add gochujang. So I went ahead and tested mine. It's salt is definitely salty enough, I think, because I added the mackerel. I'm gonna add some red pepper flakes, and I think maybe a tiny spoonful of the gochujang. Let's see. The last thing I'm gonna do, I have some tofu. You can use really soft tofu for it if you want to get more of that sundubu feel, but I prefer to use the really firm tofu cut into little rectangles. And you want to just lay that on top of your kimchijjigae, spread it around. And the reason I add the tofu at the very, very end is because the tofu is still really fragile, and it doesn't need to be cooked. It just needs to be heated up, and you want to get the kind of like kimchi flavor infused on it. So you just need to lay it, once everything else is done, lay it on top, close the lid, and let that cook for a little bit until the tofu is all heated up. And we have our delicious final product, yay! Traditionally, you can eat this with rice, but it's also really good with other kind of carby bases like quinoa or any sort of noodle. It's really great with like ramen noodle, udon noodle, and this might sound so crazy, but we also like to eat it with soba noodles, which are traditionally like eaten cold with like a dipping sauce, but we really feel like the buckwheatness of the soba noodle and the kimchi makes a really yummy combination. So don't be afraid to experiment, especially with quinoa. Quinoa is also really good because quinoa has like a very nutty taste to it. And have fun cooking! Yay! Bye! See you guys next time.